5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Party on, Wayne.
Party hardy.
All right, we're live. So,
all right. Today, we're going to be building Vue components that are reusable, deploying them to GitHub, and then connecting the GitHub repo to NPM. So yesterday we had a simple walkthrough of just getting something on NPM. We're going to import that component down. We're going to pull it down and actually rewrite it into a more comprehensive library. So let's get started. So we have our empty repo. I guess we should start with creating a Vue app.
oh, I'm not sharing your screen. There we go. Screen's live.
I'm not seeing anything on my phone, by the way.
It's live, man. You got to refresh or something.
Oh, nice. All right.
That's weird. It changed my category. Science, technology.
All right. Packaging components for NPM. So let's just go through this tutorial again. What do you think?
Oh, I got to figure out a good place for me to watch this because I can't see your screen very well. It's very small.
You can't pull it up on your phone?
That's tiny. Can you even read stuff on there?
It's not playing for me on my phone.
Maybe you messed it up.
No, it's just frozen on the browser.
Yeah, that's what's happening. What you're showing on your screen is the browser. Duh.
No, I know, Chad. I'm saying like it was frozen on a previous browser screen I had open like 2 minutes ago.
That's weird.
So like when I change over to here, I'm watching it on my phone and it's still stuck in like an empty Chrome tab.
Oh, that's weird. Well, I see it updated. Okay, I'm watching on my screen now.
Okay, and it's got the powered by StreamYard. Do you have to pay to get that removed?
Yeah. Which,
not a big deal.
If we ended up liking this and using it, I think it's worth paying for it. But I just wanted to try it out this time.
Dude, I don't know if it's just because I'm on an iPhone, but there is a huge lag.
It's possible. Could be your internet too.
All right, let's.
Wait. Your Wi-Fi, is your phone even connected to Wi-Fi?
No, but it's on 5G, 4 bars.
Dude, that's gonna kill your data.
I just wanted a preview. I just wanted a little sneak peek.
Yeah, you should have a second monitor with the stream up. That'd be nice. That'd be the ideal way, I think.
Okay, let's get rolling. So,
all right.
All right, what do you think? How should we?
It's going to be our new repo that houses all of the components, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So should we even bother scaffolding a command line Vue app or not? I don't think we need one in here.
I think you should copy over your old component and we'll need to find a way to make this repo editable local so you can work on it, and then deploy when you're done.
Okay.
You can do stuff like you can have a dev dependency of the Vue app, so that when people who download your package, they don't include that in theirs.
So okay.
Can you blow your Vue.js documentation up?
Yep.
A couple clicks.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's good.
All right. So why don't I npm install our previous component, and it should have all the source code, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just npm install it. Don't bother saving it just yet.
Vue-simple-card. Vue. Where are you? There it is.
Does it hide the node packages by default? Oh, yeah.
So build, dist, and source. That should be exactly what we saw in the docs, I think. Okay, package.json, a build with a rollup config, source with a wrapper and component, and a dist. Source with the wrapper, component, and we don't have a, oh, there's the dist folder. All right, we should have everything we need.
Yeah. And I would start copying some of these files. I would just drag them over to your project for now, and then we can just drag the Vue simple card folder over, and then so I think you're going to want each of your components in a subfolder,
Each of my components in a subfolder, like so. So like Vue-simple-card, and then.
Yeah, and I probably have like a source folder. You can have your own source folder too if you want.
Okay. What for?
Just so you don't have a billion of the folders in one thing. If you're going to share styles across different packages too.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we shouldn't need this build, dist, and source, or the build and the dist we shouldn't need inside each component, right?
Yeah, we'll do that at the higher level.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move these over to the parent level.
Yeah, the roots.
Build, dist. Okay, we'll keep the source in here, maybe.
No, because we'll end up dropping the package JSON in there. We won't need that. But
So move package JSON to root?
Yeah, I'd move it to the root for now. We'll probably change some stuff.
Okay.
And
so we do want simple card.vue. And then wrapper.js.
yeah, I'd move that back out to our source or like our root folder or something.
Yeah, okay. All right. And then I question if we need a source folder in the component. Like my guess, and you can correct me if you know. What?
Slow ass WebStorm.
I know. Okay, so my guess would be that we need like a index.js or something for exporting the component.
Why? Oh, to like.
So yeah, wouldn't every component just need like a README, a source file for the component, and then an index.js to export it for consumption later?
I don't know. It might. I think our build process might handle that.
Okay.
I don't exactly remember how the roll up was working. You know, we're gonna have to modify it for sure, but that is what was generating our exports in the end for us.
All right, so the build, do we need to change anything with the dist?
That was the generated file. You can delete those for now.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, those were generated by rollup under build, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so delete these.
I would just delete the dist folder. But either way, yeah.
All right.
Actually, well, we're going to regenerate it later on, so it's whatevs.
Okay. And we're done here.
And that's it.
All right. All right. Next step. So I guess let's start with the rollup config.
So we have that wrapper.
/ view dash simple. Oh no, wait, we're referencing the wrapper, so we just want to go to the root. Should we move the wrapper to source? Or keep it under the root?
I think it's fine in the root right now. I don't know, we're not putting anything in the source yet, right?
Right.
Because if anything's going to go in the source, it's going to be the view simple card. But you don't want it in there? You want it at the root level or what?
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at what like view bootstrap bootstrap. Yeah, okay, so all of the components are under source. And then under their root, interesting, they've got a bunch of config files.
For what is this?
This is view bootstrap.
Oh.
So it's just an abstraction of Twitter Bootstrap for Vue.js components. But okay, so yeah, I guess let's move our components under SRC.
Refactor.
Okay, and then we keep our wrapper JS under the root. And then we're going to reference SRC view simple card / simple card.
I would just rename it to simple card now too, because we don't need view in front of it. That was just so we could publish it to NPM.
All right. And then I think because we have an index.js, we could just like say this, right? And then export.
Well, I don't see why we need the index.js. why not just import the simple view directly?
So I thought I've seen this in React and Vue. When you have a component library, your index.js under each component folder does like an export component name. And then later on, when you want to reference that component.
Yeah, that's if you're exporting multiple things, but we're not yet. I mean, we can do that if you want, but
Okay.
we only need to export the component. What do you think? Do you want to start with it?
All right, less code is better. So let's just get rid of index.js for now, and we can grow into it later.
I like to start as little as possible, and then once you actually need it, add it. The README is good to have like the README for each component in its folder. So then we can document it here. All documentation for SimpleCard, and then in the main README, we can end up linking to each of the different component docs as needed.
All right, so README and then the source component. And then let's get back to starting from the top, updating our references. So we're probably going to have to import some stuff, right? So NPM install rollup Vue and Buble. And then the
package Json too, but
yeah, update. All right. Modify our build for global consumption. So the reference to the wrapper.js is correct. The output is correct. Plugins. All right, this file should be done.
Yeah, I don't know about the output. We might have to modify it at some point, you know, because I think SimpleCard is like for all of them. I'm not sure how we get it to work with multiple components, but.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, yeah. So under.
You can start with, you just like import the whole thing, but ideally we want to get to the point where we break it up so you can import by component. And also it would be nice if you can import just a single component, like view components / SimpleCard, if you don't want to import the whole library. Because if you import the whole library and you don't have tree shaking, you're getting everything in the project. You're bundling all that when you might not be using all of it.
Totally agree. So like this kind of syntax here, import SimpleCard from component library. And then you're just getting the source code for that one component.
No, when you do it like that, you're importing it from the whole you're importing the whole library. Unless you have tree shaking, it's going to import everything. If you have tree shaking, it'll pull it down to just that one component. Otherwise, you want to do like component library / src / SimpleCard, or we'll probably have a dist for it. Component library / dist / SimpleCard. But that's just kind of stuff we got to learn to configure. For now, I say we try to target it like this. And then we can worry about doing the more optimization stuff later on.
Okay, so two things. First, what is the syntax that Rollup is using for the @ symbol? Is that the same thing you're talking about?
That's the organization.
That's right. Okay. But then, so organization slash plugin.
The slash is just like, yeah. So when you say at rollup slash plugin viewable, you're only pulling in that plugin. If you did like a destructure from at rollup, you would be pulling everything in from rollup. But it's just kind of the way that they package it up like that.
Okay, so theoretically, this would still work if I did like rollup. So import bugle from rollup. It would just not leverage tree shaking.
Only if they export it like that. I don't think they do because these are plugins. You know, it matters how you configure it.
Okay. And then the other question was, when it's in brackets, I thought that it exclusively brought in just that export and not all of the exports from the library.
It doesn't import all of them, but since you say from component library, you're going through that index file or wherever, which is referencing all of the components. And since that file references all the components, it thinks it automatically includes all those.
Okay, so your source code would have the built library as a whole in its production builds.
And then you would use something like tree shaking would go through and figure out, okay, he imported this whole library, but he's only using simple card from it. So drop everything that's not simple card.
I'm with you. Okay, so configure rollup build output names to what? Reference single components? Individual. Okay.
That'll be part of like our, advanced build, I would call it. And I don't think that's our first target just yet.
That's fine. I'm just taking some quick and dirty notes for later.
Dirty.
All right, so we needed to, wrapper.js. So import component from src / simple card / simple card.view. Next step, view component. Everything here should be good.
Yep.
And then lastly, update our package.json. This looks auto-generated.
A lot of that is from, because we took it from the node modules. So all those underscore things,
Yeah.
drop all those.
Bundle dependencies false, deprecate false. Dev dependencies. Main is dist. So is our dist structure going to be the same?
No, we're going to have to change it.
Okay. All right, let's see here. So then we've got build, npm run build, and npm run build ES and unpackage. So that should still work fine. And then build ES. Okay, so
I think all these simple card references should end up being our full component library. But
let's go back to Bootstrap view and see what their package.json looks like. Yeah, okay, so they have a dist bootstrap-view.common.js. So that must be, oh, of course it's not included in their Git. But yeah, their package.json looks similar to where we're going. So yeah, they have like a global Bootstrap Vue.js file that I bet is just importing all the components, don't you think?
Probably. I wonder if they have. Can you import a single module in their docs?
So source is src/index.js. So src/. So it looks like this is where, yeah, they're exporting each of the components. So our src needs an index.js. And then I'm not sure what some of this stuff is here. It looks like just local configuration native to their code that we don't need. But they give a global name, const bootstrap view for namespacing. Export. Installer exported in case the consumer does not import default as the plugin in CommonJS build or does not have interop enabled for CommonJS. Both of the following will work. Bootstrap equals require bootstrap view. Bootstrap view equals require bootstrap view.default or view.use bootstrap view. So I don't think we need an install factory. They're doing something interesting here. I don't think we have to have that. Do you?
We had something like the install in our roll-up config, I think.
Okay. So they're exporting the install factory, the name, which is just a const, and then a config, main bootstrap plugin.
I think that's like the whole package, yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is all just exporting the like configuration stuff, and then they're exporting each component.
Mm-hmm.
Export modal plugin from, and then they reference the source code. Same thing for everything else. Buttons, cards. Okay, so this much we can go ahead and do on our own, at least the export bit. Shouldn't it be capital? Simple card.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they're grouping it all up. I guess that's something that they scaled into.
Well, I'm looking at their docs a little bit, trying to see how they.
Which docs? The Bootstrap docs?
The Bootstrap Vue docs.
Have you seen this feature in GitHub? where you can just like click on imports and then jump to the source. Kind of cool, huh?
That's pretty fancy. They've been adding a lot of new GitHub features lately.
Yeah. See, some of this, it's like convenient when a bunch of production apps are using your library in different ways, but I don't see many tutorials or much documentation on like scaling upwards, you know, starting small. Do we need a global const to name our framework? Do we need this install factory? How much of this stuff can we hold off on, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what those plugins are doing. I feel like it's just another, build process thing, but that we don't know about yet. So,
well, let's try this to keep making progress. Let's export simple card and then package.json should be updated now to be
I think in that index you'd want to export it directly. No.
so no brackets.
Oh no, never mind. That's in the SRC folder. Yeah, that's fine. No. I thought that you put that in the simple card folder.
Okay, so we're just exporting it under SRC. And then how should we reference that index.js? We need to reference it in our package JSON, right?
Yeah, all of these should be going to like your root package name, whatever you want to call it. Instead of calling them simple card.
It would be the name of the framework, right?
Yeah.
So let's just stick with the simple syntax. I don't know if we can use simple view. Can we use simple components? Is that already taken?
I'm sure it is. You can call it what you want locally, just the package name has to be unique.
Okay, so let's stick with simple components.
Let me see. View simple is taken. I don't think you want to call it simple something. You said it was geared around
Nonprofits.
Yeah. Maybe like something like View Nonprofit Kit. Kit.
Yeah, we can do that. All right, I'm adjusting the stand-up desk. So, ooh, got some squeakage going on. Gotta
So
grease
View
the
Nonprofit Kit is available.
View nonprofit.
Kit.
I like it.
Yep.
View nonprofit.
You want to copy paste it?
I am. Go easy on me. I like to type it a couple times to kind of lock it into my muscle memory.
To create bugs?
No.
Because that's what it does. And then there's like a main and whatever on the left.
A main?
Those in the package JSON? Yeah, those ones. Main module. And that too, yeah. And the unpackaged down below.
All right.
And you can put the version back to 0.1.0 because this is a new package now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Ooh, browser simple card view.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. So what's our browser SFC gonna be? Is it the index?
Yeah, I feel like it should be the index.
src index.js, okay. And then I guess our output name is going to be Vue nonprofit kit.
Yeah, but it should be like a component name, I think.
Oh, you think this export default is going to be like an output per component?
What? No. No, I think that output name should be the main all-encompassing component, which would be like nonprofit kit. See how there's this Bootstrap view? That's what I think that's what they do the main one as.
Do they not have a build folder?
They just have it. They have a scripts folder. It's probably in there. They have a roll up config.
They did have one?
Yeah.
Output format, name, camel case, file, path, resolve, dist. Wow. Camel case, name. What's name set to? All right, this is interesting. I don't know if we need all of this, but
That's gonna break it, I think. I don't think you should do that.
so format UMD, is there a reason we want to declare that?
I think we should just keep what we have. Just use ours for now, not get into their stuff yet. Because they have a way more difficult configuration than we need.
Right.
Or that we understand yet, you know. Eventually ours will get more and more, it'll get fancier like this, but
So package.json. So they're just referencing the name of what's in here. So that would be the same. So Vue nonprofit kit, that's what we named it in our package.json, I believe.
yeah, but we previously had that as all caps.
Okay, so that should work. And then next step, so we don't care about format. We got the name taken care of. File, do we need a file reference? Is that how they're getting to the index.js?
So go back to look at the file that they had defined. I think they're using that to build the multiple versions of it.
Let's see. Okay, so this is rollup config, and then okay. So you think
this one is that whole first section on line 38? The comment is the UMD browser build. So all of that config right there is for the UMD browser build, and then there's another item under it, the UMD icons only for browser build. These are all the different exports that they're doing. Each one of those entries is a new config for a new export.
Okay, so we don't want to get that fancy yet. I get it, but they're using the same config properties under each one with different data.
Is that file name, that Bootstrap -view, and then that .common that builds the .common.
Right. So file.
Ours, I think we have the plugins. We have the one output, and then the plugins, I think, are building the multiple versions for us in our code. Take a look at our code real quick.
I'm wondering, yeah, didn't it? So our dist folder had auto-generated files. I don't think this field is required. I think it resolves these for us if we don't specify.
And we have the one, so our export is one object, and we have the one output, but we have plugins below. You see the plugins? The common JS and the view keeps going down.
That's it.
I think those are the three different versions we're building. We're building the common JS, the view version, and the transpile to ES5 version. So ours is structured a little bit different. If you want to copy their style, we could do that.
Their style is more explicit for sure, but we don't have to. I mean, we don't need banner. We don't care about camel case name. We don't need format. So our output is ready to go. I mean, I'm curious what global's view would do. Source map true, we could use that, right?
Yeah.
We don't care about banner comments for right now. But this file thing is what I'm wondering. So they're reusing that in every case.
We probably have a default file path, or maybe we're setting that somewhere else, and that's why we don't have it. And they're just explicitly saying where to put it and what file name to export it to.
Okay. All right, so we should be done with this for now. I think what we have works.
Yeah, I think it could work.
Okay, what's next? So starting from the top, our rollup config should be updated with all the file paths and the naming. Our index.js should be exporting our component correctly. Our package.json has been updated with the correct name. So now, yeah, and then our versioning and naming, we should have to NPM install everything, right?
Yeah. You can try a build. I can guarantee it's not going to work. There's got to be something wrong.
It's never this easy.
It's not. It's not.
Okay, NPM install, and then was that the next step in the process from the docs, just NPM build?
I think so.
Ah, so close.
Not that close.
Plugins, common JS, the path. The path argument. Must be of type string, received type undefined.
So that common JS plugin probably takes an argument.
Did we copied this over wholesale from NPM, right?
Yeah. What about in, oh wait, which file is it? What about inside our wrapper JS? Was there anything in there we need to update?
Oh, no, this should. I don't know if this is going to work, but export function install view component. I wonder if.
I think you should be doing the index file there, maybe? You're pointing to simple card, but, or no, I don't know. Because this is where it like defines the component for view or what?
Did they have a wrapper JS in here? Are they too cool for that? Scripts, banner, build, create icon.
Try banner. See if there's any. So banner could be similar to a wrapper. Nah, that's just the banner before it.
Yeah, that's reusable comments. Do we need a wrapper JS? Let's look at the documentation. I needed a reminder on what that is supposed to do.
I think it could be a better idea for us to copy the Bootstrap view style instead, because we're moving to their architecture. This view documentation is geared for a single component.
Right. So depending on how your component is being used, it needs to be exposed as either CommonJS UMD or an ES6 module, or in the case of a script tag, it will be automatically loaded into Vue. So it's immediately available to the page. This is accomplished by a simple wrapper.js file. Are they saying this is accomplished by a wrapper.js file for when you use it as a script tag, which handles the module export and auto install? That wrapper in its entirety looks like this.
So that install function there, they have that in their rollup config. And they're doing it differently. That's where they're doing like the install factory thing.
Okay, so rollup config is just handling.
Yeah. So they have, or was it this file? Or was it in a different file? But I remember seeing that install somewhere. Go back to the scripts folder.
Can't I search inside this?
Yeah, you can search there and then search in the repo.
Plugin install factory function. Oh, they're installed, or they're
SRC
index.js.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
Click into that one.
is that related to this? Const install equals install factory plugins. Components plugin, directives plugin. So we only care about the components plugin.
But see how below they do the named exports for BV config plugin, and it's got the install. Oh, the Bootstrap view too. They have the install and the name. That's the one that they're doing multiple plugins, I guess.
Okay. We can do that.
What's happening in their components plugin?
Oh, wait, where are they importing it from? Components plugin from components. So they must have an index.js. Ugh. So they're just importing every plugin and then exporting every plugin.
What do those plugins do though? Let's see one of those files. I mean, each of those files could be doing that install part. Is my guess.
I don't understand GitHub, like how sometimes it lets you click on something and find its declaration, and other times nothing. Okay, let's look at the alert plugin. They only had two things. It was directives and plugins.
Came from the index.
So they're using this plugin factory everywhere, and then they're passing in every component to the plugin factory.
The plugin factory's generating it, and then they're just passing in that component, and that's generating a new plugin with that component. So.
Do we have to go down this road to have multiple components?
No, I think we can look at their
the path argument must be of type string.
I think we can look at the plugin thing and see what that's generating and just do that in our file.
The plugin factory?
Yeah. See what that returns. Just do that, but loop over all of our components.
So much abstraction.
There is a lot of abstraction they have, but.
Install factory. So what does install factory do? Are we in the same file? Yeah. Install factory, components, directives, plugins. If install.installed, return. Check multiple view, set config, register components, register directives, register plugins. Install.installed equals false, and then return install. Gross. I don't want to do all of this.
This is probably handling all that install section that we did. See, yeah, they did like the install.stalled. Parts of that looks similar to ours.
If install.
That view.component there.
So components, I assume, is
The
like
register components probably does view.component with it, with that component.
Yeah.
Register component. This is abstracted like crazy, man. Yeah, view.component name def. That's all it is.
Oh, but isn't register component a they didn't code that, right? That's like a native method.
No. It's defined above.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I'm stupid. I was like, why isn't it going to it? So
I wonder if we could just take our exports from the index, put it all on one big object, loop through the object, and then just call view.component with the name and with the component for each of them. I think we could do that to shorthand it.
what's a def? DEF?
That's just the definition. They're calling it the def, like definition. That's the component. Component definition. I don't know why they call it that. It's really just the component.
Okay. Okay, that's what they're doing here. So you're saying we should be able to generate like an array of the component names and just pass that in?
We should import everything as like library from the index file, src index.
All right, so src/index import what star?
Import star as library from, no, from index. No, that's not gonna work.
Can we use the actual name library?
You can use, it's basically a variable. It's whatever you want to call it. I would call it capital library or capital component library, whatever you want from there. So that will give us a library variable with all of the named exports on it. And then inside of our install, you can do a for of or for in, whichever one it is.
So like, I think they did that same thing here. Oh, no, they didn't. For what? Component in library. I'm just kind of winging it here. How should we be doing this? Component name?
No, I think the first one you pass just component. And the second one would be library bracket component.
Library what?
Bracket component. Is in the one that returns the keys? We want the key. I think that's what it does. There's no need to wrap that in like the backticks if you're just going to.
The for, oh, sorry, I gotta zoom in here. The for in statement iterates over all enumerable properties of an object that are keyed by strings, ignoring ones keyed by symbols.
Yeah, that's what we want.
For property in object.
So the for in is going to give us all of the property names, and for of would give us all of the values. But we want the property names, and then we'll pull the values out by referencing it with the brackets, like they did there.
Okay, and we need a const in front of it, right?
Yeah.
Const component in library, and then component library. So everything else is correct, right?
Yeah. Look at the index.js real quick. We only have the one export in there, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then from simple card, yeah. Does simple card have it's just the view component in there?
Yeah, and a README.
Oh, that's why they call it the definition.
Why?
Maybe because it exports that? I don't know.
All right, should we give it a try?
Yeah. I vote it still doesn't work.
It tried. It trips up when it tries to export UMD. The path argument must be of type string.
Let's look at the, I think, let's look at our wrapper.js again. Is this our wrapper.js? Yeah. Let me see the whole file. Scroll down more.
Oh, I wonder if component is...
You rename, yeah. Go up to the top to allow export library.
Export function install. Where do you see that?
Down at the bottom. That's not related to this, the very last. But you definitely want to export the library. Yeah.
All right, round 3.
That's not going to fix this. But that is probably a different problem.
Yeah, oh, so now it's...
It built the other ones, just that one failed, or what?
Yeah, it was UMD earlier, so it made it past UMD, but now it's ESM. Interesting. I wonder if it's because it's only... This syntax has to be tailored to one plugin.
Yeah.
View.use plugin. I wonder if we can do view NPM expropriation cell.
I feel like there's something we need to pass into the common JS plugin that we're not right now.
Building a view component. Yeah. Commonly used tool for bundling view is rollup. Base config here. Yep, got that. Yeah, there's nothing on exporting multiple plugins. Here we go. Stack Overflow to the rescue. Oh, this does nothing.
This is worthless.
Okay, here we go. Build lib will build our package designed for library use. Export default components. View CLI service build target lib. Components source main.js. I wish they would just give me a repo to follow.
They're using the View CLI thing to deploy or to export them?
In this example, they are. And they even have one line where, also, if you're looking for the repo, they have one line of it where it's exporting a library. So their package.json, based on that tutorial, has build lib, which uses View CLI service, build target lib name.
What? Interesting.
What does their source main look like?
All their components. Is this a View CLI
All right, so
feature?
I don't think this matters, but let's rename it to main.js, and then, oh, we should probably import it. I guess that's one thing they're doing.
No, because you're exporting from.
But look, they do import
Yeah,
another button from.
If you're going to import it, you're going to swap it to this style where you export it differently too.
Oh, okay. So we don't have to do both.
No.
And then let's add .view just in case.
See, and I think also our View by default, it exports the component. It doesn't export it on a named prop. I think that's why it could also be an issue there in our code.
They're not using all the roll-up stuff for this.
No, they're using the View CLI service instead. That's why I mean, maybe View CLI might have something built in for this. It's got something built in for it because that's what they're using to build it.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Can you see in their package JSON what version of Vue CLI they're using?
Yeah, let me find it.
CLI service 4.4. Their build process looks a lot easier.
I know, right? Plugin dev guide. Maybe I need to take a look at this and tinker around with this.
They had multiple components in their thing, right? In their repo?
Yeah. And they
build it out to different versions.
Where did the yeah, okay, so oh, interesting. So just going off this Medium post, I haven't tested it out yet, but they NPM install Vue CLI service, and they claim to have a build script just for the library, and they have multiple components. And in their example, source components, they just have 2 basic button components, but it works according to their tutorial. They just export those components, and everything is in their package JSON. Yeah, all of the config is just a package JSON.
Look down at their README some more. They said some stuff about working on it too.
Sample setup for creating Vue, lib, and web component. Yeah, see, again, I haven't tested this, but NPM install, and then this is what we're trying to get to. Hey, I'm about to have to wrap up soon.
All right.
Marley's nagging at me to go outside.
We could stop here and then next time pick up from trying to do it this way.
Yeah.
I think this way looks a lot easier. I mean, it's weird that they have the doc talking about the roll up and all this stuff if they have this way too.
Yeah. So offline, I'm going to do a test run with this example. It sounds too good to be true.
I would basically copy this whole repo and just plop your components in.
Assuming this repo works, I haven't tested it, but it's relatively recent and it makes sense. I mean, I would think that build targets. Yeah, if this is working, I mean, I guess we could copy it down, but I'll mess with it later offline, and I'll do a test run on this, and then maybe we should just follow the Vue CLI service.
Yeah, I think the Vue CLI is kind of like a wrapper around all the Webpack and all the other junk, right? And it's kind of like meant to be Vue specific. All the commands and things you want to do to Vue, you can do through the Vue CLI. And that's probably why they have all that roll-up config and stuff that we had. is now being handled by this Vue CLI service instead, because it's a common thing, you know.
Check this out. In lib mode, Vue is externalized. This means the bundle will not bundle Vue even if your code imports Vue. If the lib is used via a bundler, it will appear to load Vue as a dependency through the bundler. To avoid this behavior, inline Vue, you can build a single entry as a library using this command. And then, yeah, this is what we were trying to accomplish.
Yeah, he had two build commands in there. One that built out the lib, and then one that built out just the individual components as well. So I think we could import just the single component if we wanted to, which is also what we want.
Cool. Okay. Well, this was another good run. I think, we're learning a lot from it. And I'm having fun working on what we're working on. What do you think?
Yeah, it worked out good.
Cool. All right. A couple more of these dry runs, and I think we could have like a channel worth subscribing to. What do you think?
I think nobody cares. But that's okay. I like it like that. Yeah, so
Cool.
Next time, I said we follow that tutorial, and then we'll have that, and then from there we'll have the architecture set up, and we can start building out the components and start worrying more about actually building the library or component library. Deal?
Deal.
All right, man.
All right, man.
And that's it.
It's a wrap.
All right. Love you. Bye.
All right, later.